Respectfully, you allow that
Correct.
to happen?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we delay approving the local special education plan Part B flow-through application and report 2017-2018 at this time.
Is there a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
The only thing, my discussion would be to get with Mrs. Howerton Vaughn to find out whether or not the Special Education Advisory Committee has actually looked at the plan, provided their input. That very well may be the case, but we don't have her here tonight to be able to provide clarity.
Okay.
All in favor of that motion to delay signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Policy IKE.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Conway.
Okay. Do you want me to move a policy?
Yes.
All right. Policy IKF, I'm going to ask Mr. Phelps if he will come up with me, please.
And for clarity, is it IKE or IKF?
It's
We have IKE one place and IKF another.
IKF.
It's IKF.
IKF.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Board policy IKF. The part of the policy that we're focusing on tonight, it reads, beginning with students entering ninth grade for the first time in 2013, 2014, Franklin City Public Schools will require a student to be a career and technical education complete at least 2 sequential courses in a career and technical education program area in order to graduate with a standard diploma. This is a Franklin City Public School policy. It's not state policy. So we're asking if you would be willing to amend this policy by removing that statement, and because it's actually holding a lot of our children, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but a few of our children from graduating. And it is a local policy. It's above what the state is requiring. The state does not require a standard diploma child to have a CTE completer. It does require a standard diploma child to have a credential, which you can get out of one career and technical education class. So we are going above and beyond what the state is asking. So that would put some of our students in a negative situation. So we're asking if you would be willing to remove that policy, that part of the policy.
Is that, yes. This inaugural class is the first class that will have to graduate. Were you going to say that, Ms. Phelps?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Go. This is the class, the 2013-14 ninth grade cohort, which is this year's seniors, that has to have the industry credential to graduate, and that's a state requirement, so they have to have that. Our policy goes above and beyond that and says they have to be a CTE completer, which means they have to have a sequence, such as building trades 1 and 2 or nursing 1 and 2, and that's above and beyond what the state requires. Ms. Massenberg and I worked this week, and we have between 5 and 12 students, somewhere in that range, that would not graduate in June if this remains the policy, because they're not completers for CTE. However, they hopefully will have passed a test to be have an industry credential.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve policy IKF, revised, standards of learning test and graduation requirements.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Conaway and Mr. Phelps. Thank you.
We're down to number 7.
We have some important business to take care of. First, I want to thank Mr. Kelvin Edwards. He stepped up to the plate in November, served as our interim superintendent since that time. For a period of 7 weeks, he was without a board. He had to make a lot of decisions on his own. He did that with total professionalism. He worked with our staff. He worked with the new board when they started on December the 19th. We added a couple later. He's just been a joy to work with, and because of that and because of what he means to Franklin City Schools, he has been promoted by the board to assistant superintendent. So we would like to congratulate him.
Thank you.
I can't say enough about Mr. Edwards. He's just a professional in every way and a real asset to Franklin City Schools. Do we have a motion to appoint a new superintendent?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion at this time to appoint a new superintendent of Franklin City Public Schools.
Mr. Chair, I would ask that the motion also authorize you to sign the contract on behalf of the school division.
Thank you. Should we name that person in the motion?
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I revise that motion. I would like to make a motion that we authorize the board chair of Franklin City Public Schools, Mr. Robert Holt, to sign the contract for a new superintendent of Franklin City Public Schools.
Do you want to name that person?
I did. I said Mr. Robert Holt.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go again, Mr. Holt. I make a motion. I don't think you heard all of that. I make a motion.
I'm sitting too close. That's
Okay, maybe. I make a motion at this time. Thank you, we really appreciate that. I make a motion at this time that the Franklin City Public Schools offer the position of Division Superintendent to Ms. Tamara A. Sterling under the terms of a proposed contract dated April 13, 2017, and authorize the chairman, Mr. Robert Holt, to execute the contract on behalf of Franklin City Public Schools.
Thank you. Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Ms. Sterling is sitting right there, so thank you. Just for your information, we received 37 inquiries. 29 people applied. We screened the top 10. We interviewed 6. We interviewed 3 for a second time. And we selected Ms. Sterling. She has a stellar background, and you'll get to know her. She will start June the 19th. She'll be here a few days between now and then. So we're delighted to have her. Any comments from the board?
I'd just like to say that we've had a difficult task before us as board members. And I would like to commend the board members for being able to work together, some long hours to come together to make the decision. And also to not only welcome Ms. Sterling, but to also commend Mr. Kelvin Edwards for your support and for the guidance that he has provided to our school division. And we look forward to both Ms. Sterling and Mr. Edwards being able to work collaboratively.
Thank you, Dr. Hall-Leonard.
Yes. I'd also like to add, Mr. Chairman, we have authorized you with that motion to execute the contract. I believe Ms. Sterling would need to sign the contract in open session.
Want to come up?
No, you go over with her.
While they're signing, I want to take this opportunity to thank the board for this wonderful opportunity to serve as your next superintendent. I had the opportunity to travel around Franklin. I know your city well, and my family is very excited to be here. So I look forward to meeting each and every one of you and continuing to move this division forward. I'm very excited to be here, and again, thank you.
I do have one other comment, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
I thanked Mr. Edwards, but I want to thank the Franklin City Public Schools, the people that are on the ground. That means the teachers, the principals, administrators, staff, everyone who has worked together during a very difficult time from November until now. This school division could not have done it without everybody. We could not. Your leadership in the schools. Dr. Watson is not here. I don't see him this evening, but starting at the high school with Dr. Watson and then that transition with Mr. Phelps. We want to say thank you, Mr. Phelps. Thank you. We also want to thank Dr. Davis. She's a new principal this year. A lot of things have transpired. Thank you, Dr. Davis. Thank you so much. At the middle school, thank you so much, Ms. Lisa Francis. Let's go back. I got to hit these assistant principals too. I don't want to leave anybody out. So when I say Mr. Phelps, that means and your staff. Also, so that's Dr. Davis and her staff. And she has 2 assistant principals. And Ms. Lisa Francis, your leadership at the middle school. We know you're working hard. No longer have the turnaround partners. We see it. We see the discipline. We see your collaboration with your team. Mr. Parker, thank you so much for helping to assist Ms. Francis at the middle school. So we're pushing forward, and we want everybody to know that we appreciate all of your help. Mrs. Wade, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. Mrs. Kendrick, we appreciate everybody that has really stepped up to the plate during a difficult time. We appreciate, the board appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Hollander. Important dates to remember from the board. We have a budget work session on May the 4th.
Clarity, I believe one of our dates, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Edwards, one of our dates, I believe, was changed. The 27th was canceled. Can you help us with that? We were trying to recall, and maybe Mrs. Kendrick can help us with that.
Yes, ma'am. That was,
Okay.
The April 27th was a special call meeting. We are going to go over the budget, but seeing that we were going to have a meeting on May 4th, those 2 meetings were just condensed. So you'll do all of
Okay.
that on that date.
Thank you so much for clarity. And the other, under important dates to remember, we do want to remember that we have spring break. And our teachers and everybody will get some much needed rest. So we wish you the best on your spring break to enjoy your families and come back refreshed.
Any other business by school board members? Is there a motion for adjournment?
I motion that we adjourn.
Oh, thank you.
I second.
Is there any discussion on that one? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.